right, welcome back to another episode of Stories from the Dirt. Today we have Patty Upton and Connie Rodman with us. Kara's here as my co-host again, as always. Hey, Kara.
Hello, how are you?
Good. Hey, ladies. So I understand you guys are teamed up for the Rebel Rally this year,
Yes.
but why don't you start by introducing yourselves and giving us a little bit of information about yourselves?
I'm Patty Upton. I've done a lot of overlanding, off-roading, I've done a lot in this country as well, but the Darien Gap is the big one. And then 4,500 miles of off-roading and four-wheel drive in Africa. And that was it. Europe's a piece of cake. I mean, once you
That
get
was it. She says that
yeah,
was it.
yeah. Once you hit asphalt in Egypt, you know you're safe. Yeah, and I attend a lot of expos, so people may have seen me at some of those. Give slideshows of our trip, overland rallies, Jeep shows, things like that.
Hi, I'm Connie Rodman. I also have a fair amount of overlanding experience outside the U.S., largely in Africa and Australia, as well as some here in the U.S. You never do what's in your backyard. So in 2004, my husband and I drove from London to Cape Town, and then we've done a couple of fairly long journeys across the deserts of Australia. So.
Incredible. So Connie, what do you do now? What do you do besides your background in history and off-roading in Africa? What do you do all the time now?
Yes, exactly. I juggle a lot of things. I have been with Overland Expo since the very first expo. I've been to every one there's ever been. But my day-to-day job is I work for a family business. We wholesale Native American arts and crafts. And I never wanted to take over the business, but functionally I sort of have at this point. So yeah, Patty's been very patient with me on planning because I'm, texting her in between things at work. So.
Or while you're driving.
Yes, I was doing voice to text, and I was getting a big chuckle out of that because it doesn't always understand what I'm saying.
So how do you guys know?
Met at an Overland Expo 2 years ago, I guess, at a slideshow. She had attended my slideshow. And I mean, I knew her. I had known of her prior to that. And I knew who she was when I saw her. But I had never officially met her. And it wasn't really till this year that we connected, and I opened my big mouth at the fireside chat. I think you were both there at that one in Pacific Northwest. And I opened my big mouth in front of a whole bunch of people, and the rest was history after that.
Yeah, I think we are actually discussing the rally at the Women Who Wonder with Azure. She had set all that up. And so I think we were doing a roundtable of the girls that have done the rally, and y'all were asking some questions, and Patty was just like, man, that sounds like that would be fun. And next thing I'm looking at Patty like, you want to rally? And Connie's like, hold up.
Yes, you were the one because I walked up, there was like a 5-minute gap. And I asked my husband, I said, do you think she's serious? And he goes, I don't know, go ask her. And so I did. And that was when you walked up, and I was like, no, go away. I got here first.
Hold on. Everybody wants to rally with Patty.
Little do they know.
Okay, so that was the beginning of your rally team.
Yes.
Correct.
We didn't get a chance to actually discuss it for, I think, 2 days after that because we were both really busy at Expo. So
Yeah. And then how did you decide, okay, so you get this 5-minute gap, you're like, you want it? Yeah. You want it? Yeah. Okay, great. We're a team. And then 2 days later, you finally get to dig into the details. Were you immediately like, I'll be the driver, you be the navigator, or how does that all shake out?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I didn't
agreement.
I feel that Connie has much more experience driving than I do. I mean, I've navigated. I can navigate. I will learn more about navigation than I ever thought I would want to know. I think it's best that we both decided, I think mutually, that that's the way it would be.
and I'm going to learn as much of it as I possibly can to help her if she needs things double checked or whatever. But
Right.
unfortunately, my brain doesn't always work that way with spatial relations. So my math is good. My spatial relations a little less so. So it's definitely something I'm going to have to practice.
And my off-road driving here in this country is all done in either it was a huge Suburban years ago or in our Dodge 3500 crew cab 8-foot bed. So, it's a totally different machine when you're taking something smaller and lighter for the Rebelle than something as big and heavy as that Dodge. I mean, I'm confident. I've done off-roading and I've taken it in some pretty interesting places. Not that I knew where I was going at the time, but it was kind of like, yeah, this is the way we want to go. Oh no, it's not. But yeah, that sort of thing.
I was gonna say, you're not going to have a person helping scout the navigation piece like you did for the Darien Gap. So that'll be all you.
I won't have Margarito there telling me the way. I know. That's what I'm really gonna.
For our listeners that aren't quite filled in on all your background, Patty, you and your husband crossed the Darien Gap in a Jeep.
Correct.
I mean, there's more details in that, but where could somebody go to hear that whole story?
To actually get the full story, they're going to have to attend an event and see the slideshow. And even that is just the top of the icebergs at that point. You're not getting the whole story. We are working on a book. Misty Tokarski is doing the writing. I'm doing the talking, and we're hoping that later this year we'll have a book out.
Okay.
But highlights can be seen on my website, which is the outbackofbeyond.com website. And it gives the highlights. If you're an organization and want to schedule a slideshow, I'll be glad, depending on location and timing, to be able to provide a slideshow for your organization.
Perfect. Yeah, it's a great story. It's just a long story, so we don't want to dig into just that story today.
Absolutely.
Anybody is wondering about it, has the desire, go check that out. It is an amazing story. Patty is definitely a trendsetter in her time, for sure.
I want to learn more about Connie. We can go to Patty's website and hear about that. But Connie, I want to know what got you interested in the rally. And both of you really, because I know we had that fireside chat. But were y'all?
It was largely Azure O'Neill and Eva Rupert, but I had talked to Azure a lot about it and thought about a lot of things that she said about the rally, because one of the reasons that she said to me that she decided to do it was, she has a family member who suffers from dementia, and learning new things and expanding things helps stave off dementia. I also have some experience with dealing with people with dementia, and and it's always important to me as I am aging that I try to push my comfort zone, because if you don't, keep trying to push the edge of that comfort zone, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and soon you're just kind of in your own little space, and then you never leave it again. And that's just really unfortunate. I've seen that happen, and I don't want to do that.
No. Do you still travel a whole lot, Connie? Like you and your husband?
As much as I can. My husband has his own thing going on too, but we try to work in trips around our schedules. So
that's awesome. That's fun.
And then, Patty, what brought you to decide maybe the Rebelle is next for me?
I followed it for a couple of years online. Last year more closely than the year before because of Azure. And then at the Northwest Overland Rally in Plain, Washington last year, they had a little, women's group talking. And Emily was one of the ones talking. And I'm thinking, kind of like, maybe they need someone to set up chairs or help with timekeeping or, something in that category. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought more seriously about it. And then at the Pacific Northwest Overland Expo, where you guys were, and I thought, well, this isn't too bad. This might be something I want to try. So, and I mean, I'm always open to trying things. So why not? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like there's a lot of time left for me, so let's get it over with and do it upright.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right. I love
Kick that
that.
can down the road. The busier you are, the hopefully the longer we live, right?
Exactly. Exactly. If you
Um,
don't use it, you lose it.
Absolutely.
right.
Yeah,
I
for
know.
sure.
I say that all the time. All right, so you guys have formed a team. Do you have like a training plan? How do you think? Okay, I have a lot of questions. We'll start with that. How are you how
Step
are you
one.
training?
I'm taking whatever I can online. I need more road books to work with. That's for sure. The road enduros.
Yeah.
That's because
Have
that's got more math involved in it than at least
Okay.
the plotting and the finding the Latin law. I think, and I can read a map. I can plot the Latin law to a degree. I haven't really focused strongly on that yet because the math that was involved in the enduros kind of took me by surprise, and I thought, well, I've got to work on this one because you're doing your time, distance, and speed, time, and distance. So I've been working a lot on that, but I've only got a couple of them that I work on because there's only a few online that actually are a blank one and that give you a basically a key. So I'll sit down and I'll work it, and then I'll compare it. I mean, there for a while, I could only work one problem before I was looking for the answer to make sure I was on the right track. Now I'm able to go through both of those that I have, and I come out with the same answer that basically I think Christy's the one that does it online. So I feel good about that. The only thing I'm confused about on that is, okay, if you're not given your prescribed average speed, that's a number that's missing in your equation. So what do you do? So
Yeah, exactly. That's a whole nother discussion. We can have a side we can have a side chat about that. I can help you out. I have about 20 enduros for around my area that I can send you to do math on.
Oh yes,
but
please.
Will you be doing the math, Patty? Because classically the driver does the enduro math.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
I see Connie's face like, shh.
I know.
Yeah, don't tell her that.
Because your main job as the navigator in the morning is to get all the points plotted.
Right.
And a fast navigator, a fast navigator can do it in the allotted time in the morning. Some of the slower navigators don't even finish all of their plots in the morning, so they have to take time out during the day to finish that. So traditionally
comfortable.
Traditionally the driver does the math, but every team is different and that's yours to decide.
Well, we'll work on that.
Yes.
We are signed up for the training session in Ocotillo in April. The 4-day navigation and driving, and we're signed up for the 3-day intense navigation in Ridgecrest in June. And then we have to
trials.
Yeah. And then we'll see how things are going schedule-wise, if we can work any others in with either Rebel or the two of us just getting together. Because again, I'm traveling this summer. I've got to go pick up the Jeep. She's been in a museum in Kansas. I've got to go pick her up and bring her back to the show in Flagstaff and a few others. So I've got these obligations I have to fill. So we're going to be putting some miles on between the two of us doing this, as well as getting together as much as we can to do training.
Where are you both located?
I'm in Idaho.
Okay.
At the same time, so.
No, Idaho and Colorado. Is that right?
Yeah. Colorado and Idaho. Yeah.
Okay. The more you can get around other rally rebels, you can learn their techniques and what work for them. Like Avis was saying, with the driver typically doing the math calculations and stuff like that. Me and Danielle actually switched. Just because she does all of the navigation all the time, it was able to give her a break and to drive for a little bit.
So like driving,
She
you
drove.
Still do math, Kara.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I did the math, but I mean, that's the point. Like, I'm already doing the math and looking at the turns and the navigation pieces. And so, like, why would I do the math and then hand it to her who's never seen it to tell me where to go? So if I'm doing the math and I can see the turns, why not just tell her and she can drive and take the break? So I mean, it's totally up to, but you learn that from everybody that there's not one way. There's so many different ways to this.
Exactly.
It's a great opportunity. So what is your team name, team number, what vehicle are you taking?
All of that.
We're team number 114. We are TNT-Tried N True because we're both a little older and we've both been through a fair amount, so we feel like we're fairly tried and true. And we, I'm going to do this without crying. We are so blessed. We are driving a 2023 Jeep that is being provided to us from American Expedition Vehicles from AEV, which Patty has on her shirt there. And that happened in about the same amount of time as our forming the team happened. Something was just
incredible.
And Matt from AEV said, "Hey, what are you driving?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. I mean, I've got several backup vehicles." I said, "But ideally, I would really like to drive a Jeep just because of Patty's story." And so then another little thing, there's also a documentary in the works on Patty's story. So that's another thing coming along. But yeah, Matt said okay when I said I'd like to drive a Jeep, and I was like, "What?"
Okay, what?
And then he goes, "What?" And he goes, "So you need it in October?" And I said, "Well, ideally we need it from like March till October so we can train." And he goes, "Okay." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "I can't guarantee it'll be red." Well, spoiler, it is red, but
Nice.
it's very exciting. So
Oh, that's so awesome.
Is it like Sand Ship Junior? That was
he's called in some of the photos. He's put SSD too.
Okay. Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but the
like
faith that people have expressed in us has just been humbling and a little frightening.
Yeah.
So what's your biggest fear about it?
Mine is that if I'm not physically able, and that's the biggest, because with this ankle right now, in fact, I was supposed to have a second surgery early January and I postponed it. I said, I don't want to go through a recovery that's going to last longer than right now. I need to get up, moving, and able right now as fast as possible. So I've put off the second surgery until later this year. We've got people that have put lots of money behind us. We have people that have got a vehicle behind us. So I can't let anyone down. So my biggest fear is something like that.
Yeah, I think we've both expressed to each other that our fear is letting people down, because my fear is letting Patty down, letting our sponsors down. Yeah. I am really frightened, and I will find anything to put off learning the navigation, but I have to do it so that I can help Patty with that, because we have to both be able to know what's happening, and yeah.
Emily always says to practice what's the hardest. Don't practice what's the easiest, because you're going to get that. If you practice what you don't know, that makes it better. And gosh, don't worry about letting anybody down. This is hard. It's super, super hard. You're going to have hard days. You're going to feel like you're letting everybody down one day, if not multiple days. Yeah. But at the end, people are investing in you guys and your story and who you are as people. So you've got to remember that from the very beginning to the very end. And just know that, like, this is hard. This is so hard.
It's hard, as Kara keeps saying.
I don't know how to say that, but it's hard. In case I didn't say it.
We can do hard things. You ladies have already done hard things.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not worried about either one of us falling apart in the moment because things are hard, because we've both had to just put that aside and just get on with it. And I think we'll be able to do that. I mean, at the end of the day, we'll be like, oh my God, what am I doing? But
yeah.
Okay, honestly, when I hear rookies say that, oh, we're not going to fall apart, we're going to be great, I kind of get this internal chuckle. But when you guys say that, like, I firmly believe that you have been through enough stuff that I think you've got this.
Well,
I don't have that
floated
chuckle
down
this
the
time.
Nile for 3 days holding on to her gear. I'm guessing it's probably not going to be as bad as being in crocodile infested waters with your body in the water. So
No,
No.
no.
The
not
girls
even.
aren't that mean.
And Avis, I've heard enough of your ideas of getting into bodies of water, so
No, I would just leave me there. I live with the locals now. That's my only way home. I live here now with the locals. I don't know who they are, but I live with them now. I do not.
I've
do
heard
water.
I've heard so many of your talks about water, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh,
She doesn't
I
do
can see
water.
I see why you enjoy the desert.
Yeah, the desert is nice. And water in the desert is dangerous. So there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, other than flash floods, you're okay.
Yeah.
Are y'all
Exactly.
concerned any about being away from any technology? Like I know obviously you, Patty, you're used to that. You didn't have anything whenever y'all were out doing things. Connie, are you like your spouses, your kids, grandkids, your dog, Patty? Like, I mean, how does that connection? Like for me, it was my dogs. I get that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've actually I signed on with on a website. I don't know if you've heard of it, Trusted House Sitters. And actually, the October slot has been booked. Hopefully, everything goes well. I've got it booked from October 1st to the 25th. Someone's going to come. I think it's a young couple, and that's all they do is they're members of this site, and you have background checks and all this other sort of thing. And they're at another place up until sometime in Washington till the end of September, and then they'll arrive here on the 1st of October or the 30th of September. I forget what we booked. And they move in and I move out, and Shay, and I think we'll have one night where Shay can get used to them, and I'll be here, and then I leave, and then they've got you can read their reviews online from other places and pets that they've sat, that sort of thing. The April one is still up, but that's such a shorter time period. I think it's a little harder to fill because these people, they travel, and this is what they do is they travel to these places and they've got a place to stay at no charge, and then they can do what they want to while they're in that locale and take care of a dog, take her for a walk, take her for a hike. It doesn't matter. She'll do anything. So yeah, it's a good peace of mind for me. So just the October or the April one for the training is the other. Other than that, she goes with me everywhere. I mean, she's like yours. I mean, she's right there. But I don't have to, I don't have a spouse now, so I don't have to worry about that. And I mean, my family has been used to me being silent for 6 months at a time. So I mean, 8 days, 10 days isn't going to be anything. I mean, that's nothing.
Yeah.
And they can follow your, they know that you're still
Right.
alive.
Right.
There's no
They
question.
know where
about
you
that.
are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, being
What about
away
you?
from my husband is that'll be the hardest, because I mean, even though we've been apart for longer than that, we always were able to say, just send a little text, hey, all good?
Yeah.
Yep, just fine. So yeah, that'll be difficult for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was hard for me too, and I think that's hard for Avis as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's still not easy. It's still my least favorite part.
Yeah.
What do you think about the challenges as far as driving goes, Patty? I know, or I'm sorry, Connie, just in the dunes and stuff. If we do have dune days, are there any terrains that you're not familiar with?
So I definitely need more practice with the dunes. I had a fair amount of practice when we were doing Australia, because there's one area that you end up crossing 47 dunes going through there, and it's a lot of driving. And no, I mean, we shared the driving, my husband and I, but about 60% of my off-road experience is probably desert driving, and the other 30% is probably mountains and things like that. I do have been, even when I'm just doing my daily commute, when I'm going across speed bumps and stuff like that, and practicing my left foot braking. So
start now, yeah.
Just trying to be aware so that it is absolutely 100% muscle memory by then. So.
Oh, you'll be so tired, you'll forget that muscle memory. It's fine.
Muscle, what muscle?
No, you'll be like, what's my left foot? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Yeah. Patty will say left. And then when she keeps repeating it, left, left, that means you're actually
Other
going
left.
right. And she really wants you to go left.
Have y'all decided if y'all are gonna like have one tent, two tents? Like what all are y'all like decided or planning for the packing wise?
We're doing 2 tents. It's just, having that much time together all the time is nice to just have a little bit of space that's your own.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And also, I am a disaster. I explode when everything goes everywhere, and I don't want Patty to have with that. So I'm working on it.
That's my daughter's philosophy. I've traveled with her. We did 3 weeks in Peru, and I swear we wouldn't get in the room at the hostel or whatever. And I mean, I would turn around, and her backpack literally went poof. And I mean, the bed is covered. And it's like,
terrible.
That is how I tend to be.
So Patty's prepared.
Good.
and see, I grew up on, my dad was military, so we had rules and regulations growing up, especially me being the firstborn. And one of it was there's a place for everything and everything in its place. And I, other than my desk, and even my desk is somewhat organized chaos, I adhere to that philosophy. Is there's a place for every, and that's kind of what helped me out on the Jeep trip. Is I knew where everything was packed. If anyone wanted anything, they would ask me, and I would know where to find it.
Yeah.
I am that way with our Land Rover and with our Defender. I know where everything goes. If I were blinded today, I would know where everything in there is. But I'm used to camping traveling out of a vehicle. That is my home, my little tiny home.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll work on it.
I'm typically OCD, so it's nice to know where everything is at, and that gives you a little bit more control. Because out there on the rally, there's so much that's out of your control because you're out there playing this game. So that gives you a little bit more like, okay, I know where this is at. I know this is fine. It just kind of centers me. So
I am like that as well. But being the navigator, like when we get to base camp, I usually unpack everything as fast as I can, as close to the unload as possible, like while the driver's in the fuel line. And so like I'm hopping out of the car and then I'm setting up camp and then I'm just grabbing all of my stuff and then going to my tent. And then the car gets impounded. So I don't get a lot of time in the car at the end of the day. And then in the morning, I'm using all of that time to plot and plan the day. And I'm getting in, you need to be in your vehicle 15 minutes before your start time. So I try to be there 20 minutes before so you're not late and get bumped to the back. And so like I'm just getting in and then getting everything organized. And then my side of the car, like I know where things are on day 0. By the end of it, I'm just like, I don't know, it's here somewhere. Like my goal is that when I open the door, none of my crap falls out. That is a win for me.
Or if both doors open, something doesn't blow out.
Oh,
never
yeah.
Never open both doors.
That's a strict rule. I get so mad.
No kidding. Like if there's a sandstorm and it sucks your map out or your points, you're SOL.
Yeah.
Or just sucks sand into the car and then all the erasable things that you write on your map with, when you brush the sand off, it just erases it. It's gone. All that hard work.
Or it leaves marks,
gone.
like the sand, the grit
it does
will
that too.
It'll leave a line and you'll be like, oh, is that a road? No, that's where the line from the sand or something that you just scraped on your map. You gotta guard those maps like they're your children.
Yeah, for sure.
Fun times. This is bringing me back some really good memories.
Okay, so we went over what you're most afraid of. What are you most excited about?
Doing it.
Yeah, just, from the start, neither one of us had any illusion that we're going to win this or something like that, but we both we want to finish. We want to We want to say, okay, we did everything we were supposed to do. And maybe we didn't catch all of the things that might have been nice to, but I think just
participating in this event. I think that's the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to.
Still be speaking to each other at the end.
Yeah.
That's an accomplishment, let me tell you, ladies.
I'd say
I wish
I'd
that
also
for
tell
you as
you
well.
set multiple goals. Like break them down. Like set a stupid high goal for winning. Just set it. Just set the goal so that way you have that goal out there. You may not make it, but then you can go to the next goal and be like, okay, being friends, that's the next goal. And then, just like different goals. And so you're like, if you make one goal, you finished it. At the end of the day, if your last goal is you didn't die and you hit that, you're winning.
Yeah.
So
That's my goal for every day. So
exactly.
Yeah, right. You have to say, yeah.
Same. The food in my house will keep you alive, and the things that you do, you won't die. Those are my two
Exactly.
benchmarks.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
And
And
I
you
accomplished
hit
that
that.
last one by staying out of the water.
You
Staying out of the
shower.
water
I'm starting
has
to
kept me
wonder
alive.
if you shower.
Uh-huh.
I'm starting to wonder if you shower. Do you
I
bathe?
do shower.
And I think she just mentioned she didn't really care for baths that much. So
Yeah, that's true. I don't like a bath. I do take
there's
showers.
bodies of water.
They'll get you.
They will. It's the things in the water that you can't see. Just saying. Okay. So you mentioned a documentary. Is that like following your rebel journey, or is that just specifically the one for Patty and the Darien Gap, or what was that, Connie?
I think, and I'm not the one producing it, but I think it is largely going to be her past story, but then including some of the rebel things as a continuation of her story. Maybe he's talked to you more about it than to me, but we haven't really started much yet. So
That's exciting.
I know at the one rally there was some filming happening. So
yes.
Nice.
Patty, I know you did a lot of photography on your trips, and Connie, I'm assuming with everywhere that you went, you had to take some pictures too. Are you going to try to journal, take pictures at the rally? Like, are you just trying to survive the week?
Well, that's
Yes.
primary goal.
Yes. Oh, yes, she says yes.
Patty's good at journaling. I am not someone that tends to do things like journaling. So, yeah.
I'm super happy Patty's doing that, because I'm going to be like, Patty, what happened? What happened this day? Patty, tell me what happened so I can write it down.
Yeah, if you could just print out those notes and distribute them, that would be great for people like me. I hate a journal, but I'm unsuccessful at writing in it. I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm tired, I'm overstimulated, and I just want to be in the dark.
It may not make sense, but I do journal. Yes.
And I think there's going to be some, devices that we can have in the evening to record just sort of thoughts for the day as well.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, we took our GoPro, their Insta360, but it's basically like a little GoPro. And so we recorded the whole time, but you could definitely use that. And honestly, I wish I would have done that. Just because writing, like I'd rather just be able to say it real quick, be done.
And
I might try that this year.
Our film guy that's doing the documentary is going to want some audio from Patio during the rally, so that'll be good.
Yeah. That'll be fun. I can't wait to just get your reactions, especially because you've done these things that people, I mean, the bulk of people don't do. I don't want to say normal people don't do it, because you're normal and you do it. But the bulk of people don't do. And so that's going to be interesting. Well, you'll have to think about the question, is it life-changing? You can't answer that now. You have to answer it after the rally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with
but
that.
What is your prediction? Do you think it's going to be life-changing, or do you think it's just another thing?
I think it's going to be another challenge. It may be a big challenge. It won't be insurmountable. It doesn't have the unknown qualities to it that my previous challenges have had.
That's interesting that you say that.
I first off, someone's going to always know where I am. That
you hope
that never exists. Well, even at that, I'm not that concerned. That time of year, it just, you can survive. I'm not that concerned, actually. I mean, you could survive for several days out there without any issue whatsoever. So I'm not concerned about that. the letting down of someone is the main thing. And that was still with Lauren and I when we were traveling together. Neither one of us wanted to let the other one down. We always had our roles that we had to fulfill. He was driver and basically the spearhead. I was navigator and the organizer and that sort of thing. And we both meshed. And having the ability to know where you are, whether you know or whether someone else knows is a very reassuring thing. I've been in places where I went for days and days and days, and I'd see a jet stream overhead, and I think, oh my gosh, the world's still out there. Civilization still exists. I have no clue.
Yeah.
I was in a camp for over 7 days in the middle of the Darien with natives that I didn't speak their language and they didn't speak my language. Lauren had to hike out for supplies and fuel, and I was, left there. I was left there voluntarily, mind you. I said, yes, I'll stay. He told me, he says, okay, if I'm not back by this day, start thinking about what you're going to do to get yourself out of here. If I'm not back by that day, get yourself out of here. So I don't have that, I don't want to say pressure, but I don't have that unknown in the Rebelle. I mean, there's 120 crew, there's 130 other teammates out there. So, I mean, I'm not out there by myself. I've got someone in the vehicle with me. Between the two of us, we're going to figure it out. It may not be the right figure out, but we'll figure it out.
You'll do something.
Yeah, right. It may be wrong, but we'll do it.
Right. Exactly.
I love that. What about you, Connie? What do you think?
So what was the question again? Sorry, I was wrapped up in her answer.
The life-changing question.
Yeah, life-changing. I mean, it will definitely be one of the things in my life that I'm happy that I have done. Sometimes you're happy that you did it, but you're glad it's also behind.
Checked it off.
So we'll see how that goes. But I think we're both starting from a pretty strong place as far as not the navigation and stuff like that. We're both learning that, but as far as what we've already both made it through, and she more than I, but because I never floated down the Nile for 3 days. That still sounds pretty terrifying. But
people pay big bucks for that.
It'll definitely be life-changing, probably in ways that I don't even foresee at the moment, in ways I can't anticipate.
I'm going to throw out life impacting. I will say it'll most likely be life impacting. I don't know that it will be life changing until after the event, but I can pretty much guess it's going to be life impacting.
New phrase coined by Patty for us. I'm writing that down.
I like that one. I like that.
I did the same thing. See, I do journal.
Yeah, I'm excited to, doing the rally for the first time. And I don't know if Avis feels the way that, I do in this, but it was, yeah, probably not. We're usually opposite. But you're so focused on your rally that for us, like, obviously we're watching other people that are like really, really good at rallying and trying to see what they do and how they learn and how they just grasp different things. And that's all we were focused on. Like, I didn't sit there and watch anybody else and like, how is their day? Like, I didn't like step back and like, I wouldn't say that I didn't enjoy the process, but and me and Danielle were talking about this the other day. We really think this next year is going to be just different, like as far as fun. Like, it's still going to be hard, but we don't have the pressure of the Rookie of the Year. We don't have the pressure of being top 3 or winning it. That's a goal, of course. That's one of our stupid goals. But it's just not there like it was that first year where it's like a make or break. You only have the 1 year to accomplish the Rookie Year. And so I'm really excited to sit back and just kind of watch people and just see everybody else truly compete. Because I feel like I didn't do that this past year. I was just so tunnel
focused.
zone. Yeah. And so I don't know if you feel that way, Avis. Are you able, Avis, to, I don't know, as a navigator, maybe completely different too from a driver's perspective, to be able to be like, so how are you doing?
So for me, like my second year felt like you're like, oh, the pressure's off. For me, I was like, no, I didn't accomplish my goal of rookie of the year. So I'm coming back and I'm wanting to make a strong impact. It was almost more pressure for me.
Gotcha.
So I didn't have that same feeling, but I have always on my rallies had a couple of people that I made sure to connect with in that family sense of, hey, how was your day? Or, sometimes I connect with them in the morning, like, how was your day yesterday? How are you doing? How are you feeling? So I do have a couple of people that I connect with. Like Laura Wanless, my rookie year, she was very impactful. She would always like see me in the mornings or see me in the evenings, and she would be like, she would check in with me, and then depending on what I said, she would be like, yeah, okay, don't forget, get your shit together, rookie. Come on, you got this, right? Like she would always say, get your shit together, and then she would punch me in the arm a few times. And that is like the kind of thing that I need. Like I need that tough love. Like, yeah, it was hard, but guess what? We're here, we're awake, and we're doing it again. So get your shit together and get in the car and let's do this, right? And so like
I would say she was like that for me this year. Because we were always there in the tent first.
Yeah.
And so we had like this small group of us that were in there, and she's just like, it's just that we can do hard things. It's just a day. She's just like, business, let's go.
Yeah. And there was a couple other people. Like I checked in with you a couple times, Kara. There's a couple people I put on my list that I try to have a relationship with. It's not, I mean, it is rally based, but it's not, I'm not just seeing as a competitor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You need somebody that's not your teammate.
Mm-hmm.
So
take that advice, girls.
You connect with that person in a training, or, just maybe the first day that you're at a base camp, like you just find somebody and you allow them to tell you their bad day stories, and you are allowed to tell them your bad day stories, because in general, the people don't want to hear it, right? Everybody's having their own bad day. Like you don't want to be unloading on just anybody. So you need somebody that sort of accepted that responsibility for you and that you can give back to them. So yeah, I have people. Kara.
You're one of my people.
Yeah.
We're each other's people.
Yeah. And then those same people, when you're out on course or something, it's always exciting to see them, or you might give them a little like, hey, I see you wandering over there. It's not over there. You might, and you might not.
It is fun getting to meet like the rookies that are coming in with your class, too. And I say class, I don't even know if that's what you would call it, but I look at it like that.
They call it.
Okay. So like at the trainings and stuff that you go to, it's always nice because you'll get to see these people. A lot of times people are taking the same trainings that you, and then you get out there on the rally and you kind of get to catch up, and it just becomes this bond. It's just you can't really describe it.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
It's a lot of fun. Do you guys have any like mentors yet? Like, have you?
I've been texting Azure about various things.
Yeah.
I've been really happy to share because, and I told her, I would love to hear about the stuff that was not so good about it, and so that I'm prepared for that, because I tend to do better if I am aware, because then I can have my little Tasmanian devil, blah, and then I can just take a breath and go, okay, it's fine. And that is something I'll warn you ahead of time, Patty. I will have a momentary, like a 15-second, like, ah! Okay, it's fine.
Yeah. I think I'm about the same way. We just have to just kind of offset them, work out.
And Azure didn't want to tell me some of the stuff because she's like, well, I don't want to put anything new onto you that you might not necessarily. And I said, oh, no, I have birthed too many of my own neuroses to have room to adopt anyone else's.
I thought that too, but then Tara Lynn shared a nightmare. I think I've shared it on here before, where she went to a green and it was like her last green of the day. And if you go out of order, you can't do any of the ones before. And I was like, I literally didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah.
Oh.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
I've been in touch with most of the people that I know of that have been in the Rebel are way past Rebels. I mean, these were years ago. Barbara, Rainey, Mercedes Lindathal, Charlene Bauer. These are people that I've known for several years. I didn't really realize they were involved in the Rebel until after I started kind of following it. I thought, oh yeah, super. And I think all of these people, I don't know if Mercedes will be there, but Barbara's usually there, I think, every year doing something behind the scenes. And of course, Charlene, I'm sure, is there doing something behind the scenes. If not, I don't think she's running it anymore. I don't know that she's run it in the last
No.
several years. And I know Mercedes hasn't. And Shelley, Big Rich's wife, she was, I think, first. Wasn't she the first Rebel that won?
I do think she was
think
in
so.
the first year. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
And
so
of course,
sweet.
she and Rich are out there. So, you know, these are people that I've known for several years that I didn't know at the time when I first met them that they had been involved in it. So it's kind of reassuring to know that there's people out there that I can kind of pick on if I need to.
Oh yeah.
And all of them have been very, very helpful and receptive, and anything you need, whatever you want. So
Yeah, even
Yeah.
the Facebook groups, like you'll know, like a lot of the past rebels, it's hard. I don't know if I said that already on here, but it's hard. And so like there's like if we can help you, like you're gonna have your own struggles, but why hold it what we know? Obviously there's gonna be things that you can only learn once you get out there and learn how to compete. But if we can help each other, it makes it even like I think Avis has said this. I want to win against someone who has their utmost potential, or you've said something to that matter.
Yeah. I don't want to beat you at your worst. I want to beat you at your best.
Yeah.
But I do want to beat you. So just to be clear.
I don't think we were unclear, but thank you for straightening that up.
Okay.
What was that?
I mean,
again,
I'm
Avis?
not I'm not one to keep secrets, but I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
And if
one,
you don't
it's hard.
want to beat
Two, she wants
me,
to
we
beat
can't
you.
be friends.
Yeah. All right, you got the fast money questions? Is it fast money time?
I do.
Oh dear.
I like to hear these people's answers. I'm always excited about this because then I'm like, what kind of like someone? I'll tell you here in a minute what kind of sandwich someone liked, and it was interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so if you watch or don't watch, I'm just gonna explain it. Fast money it's been evolving. It used to be 10 questions and you had a minute to answer them. No, there's no money involved. It's only fast. So I will ask you a question and then you need to just tell me what answer comes off the top of your head. Because there's two of you, you just kind of try not to talk over each other and spit out your answer.
Yeah, we'll let Patty go first, and then Connie, you can say yours.
Okay.
Yeah, Kara tries to make rules, but people never actually follow them.
It
the
never
whole way
does.
through.
But it's good to have kind of a guide.
It's fine. Okay, here we go. What was the first car you had that was ever really yours?
68 VW Bug.
A 1956 Dodge Custom Royal.
Okay. Rock crawling or desert running?
Desert.
Desert.
Oceans or lakes?
Lakes.
Any water. Oceans would be fine. Lakes would be fine. I'm not particular.
Can you drive a manual?
Oh yeah, I learned on a manual. Column shift, no less.
What is the best sandwich?
I'd say a Reuben.
Turkey and brie with apple.
Oh, hamburger or sushi?
Sushi.
Hamburger.
What's your favorite state for off-roading?
Utah.
Anything west of the Mississippi.
Favorite band or genre?
Country.
Pass. I I like a lot of different things, but I
Okay.
don't have a favorite band.
I love that you respected that it was fast and you passed.
Yes. Exactly.
We had someone come on. It was Lisa Addington with Team Wild Mavens. Her sandwich was bread, cheese, some mayonnaise,
Mhm.
and lettuce.
Well, she said sandwich spread because she's
Yeah.
from the Northeast.
Okay.
Yeah,
For a
I
lot of
didn't even
people,
know what
that's
that meant.
mayonnaise.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
For a
just
lot of
like-
people, it's mayonnaise, but like Miracle Whip or
Huh.
some
but no
white
meat.
creamy spread.
Did you notice
No
there
meat.
was no meat? Just-
Yeah, and it has to be white bread. I think that's a very East Coast thing.
I do
like-
like my white bread.
Growing up, it was Wonder Bread with the
Uh-huh.
fresh sliced tomato, the mayonnaise, and some salt.
Yep.
That was it, a tomato sandwich.
Yeah. Back when you could get tomatoes that tasted well, tasted like tomatoes. Out here, I
Yeah.
don't get anything like that.
Oh, we have this little farm stand that I go to, and they get a lot of their produce from the local farmers in the area. Oh,
Mm.
delicious.
Mhm.
It's so sad when it's closed down in the winter.
I don't like tomatoes. I like salsa and ketchup and all things that's made from a tomato, sauces. But I don't like tomatoes.
I'll
Not
take
raw.
Have you ever had your tomatoes grilled? Just take a
Mhm.
fresh tomato and put some olive oil on it and put it on a grill.
Now, like bruschetta, like that, I can do something like that with like
Yeah.
balsamic glaze
Yeah.
and all that. But
It,
Strange.
I know.
and see, and I'm
But
not
my
a
dad-
tomato. Yeah, I don't really care for tomatoes either. As well, putting on a sandwich because at least out here, you just don't get tomatoes that have any
Mhm.
flavor.
They have the flavor of wet.
Yeah.
Since we're
Yeah.
talking about
Crunchy.
food, are y'all taking a fridge for the rally, or are you gonna like
Yes,
take
we
a
are.
cooler? Okay.
That's news to me. I wasn't sure. We had talked about it, so I wasn't sure.
We definitely
Right?
are. And I'm toying with the idea because we have an Engel refrigerator that we have had for 20 years and it has functioned beautifully. I mean, we've also got a fridge freezer, a different one. So I don't know. I'm not sure which one we're taking. We're definitely taking the fridge though.
Good. Gotta talk to you about that. Well, I'm on daily medicine, has to be kept refrigerated, and I thought, well, I'll have to go without it for that 8 days. So I thought,
Nope, you'll be fine.
Oh, yeah. If you need it, take it. If you can do without it, don't take it.
And we're getting Goose Gear has sponsored us with a seat delete for that Jeep, and it's got a fridge slide on it. So,
oh, good.
yeah, that'll be nice.
Nice.
So, are you gonna be getting the Jeep in March? Is that for sure?
That's the plan. Yeah, they're
Okay.
supposed to be. Their design team is supposed to be meeting tomorrow to discuss some things about it, and yeah, so we'll see what they have to say. They've been getting slammed with snow too, so they've been
Oh yeah,
just trying.
And the
yeah.
Terra trip is in the United States and should be delivered shortly to them. So they'll be
Right.
able to mount that fairly soon as well. So
Yeah, and the
having the
seat delete got delivered
week ago or so, I
ago.
think.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
no, I got the confirmation that it had been delivered.
Okay.
So
How
That's so exciting.
Which
I know,
terror
I
trip
feel
did
like
you go with?
I'm watching all these things.
The GPS one that doesn't need a wheel
Speed sensor.
probe. There we go. Yes, uses a
The
GPS sensor.
202
So
one? Not the 303, right?
not the
202.
303. Yes, right. Correct. What you said. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the one that is approved. I did check that. I double checked with Andrea, and she said as far as she knows, everything is still good. So yeah, that's what we went with since it was an approved one. And we don't have, and I
That's what we
checked with a
use.
couple of other rebels. And did you take a spare probe for the wheels, or did you take a spare antenna for the GPS or whatever you need? I don't know. There was options of getting spares, and Nina said they took them, but they never used them in all the time they
I
had
had a
it. So-
spare of everything. I had a spare Terra trip. I
oh
had a
wow.
spare
Same.
literally everything. And I have the manual. Print that manual out and take
Okay.
it with you and in your like a binder.
Okay.
So that way, if you need to know how to do anything, it's all right there. But obviously, get the vehicle as soon as you can. Learn it.
Well, that's one reason I wanted to get it to Matt as soon as possible so that he'd have it mounted so we would have time to learn it without it being at the starting line and trying to figure out how to turn it on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's so exciting.
So much new. I feel like it's also you're getting to learn a new vehicle, or not so much a new vehicle, but it is a lot more
Oh, it'll be, yeah.
technical. Like it's
Oh, yeah.
different than your CJ. And it's
Oh,
Connie, it's not too, I mean, granted there's some things different than a Land Rover. My teammate she has a Defender and they're Land Rovers, and so I basically brought my own mechanic is what we joke about. Because
Yes,
you
ours
you
is
kind of
not
have to
the
know
new
everything.
Defender, it's the old Defender. So yes, it's you do have to get used to all the
Yeah.
little, okay, is that a problematic sound? No, that's fine. It's
Yeah. Yeah, they have a 90 series is what Danielle has. But
Mhm.
so are y'all taking extra parts, or like what is the plan for anything like that for mechanic wise? Have y'all thought about that?
We are taking extra parts. Thankfully, Matt from AEV is going to put together a list of things that he recommends, and he's also said that he's willing to give me some instruction on fixing and changing things, which is good because
Awesome.
I know a Land Rover, and I mean, you open the hood on an old Land Rover and it's easily, oh yeah, that's the problem right there. You can see it.
Yeah. Oh, what size tires are you guys gonna run?
I
I
think they're
think
35s.
I don't remember if they're 35s or 37s. 35s,
Perfect. You don't
okay.
need 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was 37s, I would tell them to take them off.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you
That's too
guys have
heavy.
any like fitness in mind to get yourselves in shape? Because when you said 37, I'm with Kara. I was slightly afraid for you.
I have been training with someone because I have struggled with I had a back injury that didn't hurt my back, but it made one of my legs very weak and numb, and so I've been really strengthening that because and it's been reinforced to me over and over. It's the driver's job to take care of the navigator. So I'm planning on being strong like bull, smart like
Yeah.
bull factor.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It is.
I haven't
Go.
really started anything other than I'm getting a lot of upper body workout between using a knee scooter and a walker for the past 6-8 weeks. So I'm hoping here real soon I will be back to my normal routine of at least walking great distances for long periods of time and still working on upper body strength.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will
It's
say the biggest advice I can tell you is to don't allow yourself to get in a situation where you need to, like, make smart decisions, so that way you're not out there like digging sand or trudging up hills or having to, like, there's ways to prevent that. Like, don't have to get into that situation in the first place, and you don't have to be exhausted by the end of the day.
yeah. It can be exhausting emotionally, mentally, physically.
Exactly.
Every way.
So
In case you
I'm
didn't know,
really
it's hard.
I'm really excited to see how it compares to your other adventures. I feel like it will pale in comparison to the Darien Gap. I don't know how it will compare to, say, going across Africa with your husband.
Mhm.
I'm excited to not have to do laundry by hand during the event. That's good.
No, but the fear should be in doing the laundry after, because there's a special smell that comes out of your laundry when you open your bag.
Yes, but I get to shove it in a machine, not have to.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
Hassling with
even bring it
border
in the house.
crossings.
Hmm?
What?
I said hassling with border crossings. We don't have that. You don't have that
No.
unknown. What
A
is he
lot of
having a
times,
good day or a bad day?
yeah. A lot of
You
times,
still have
Patty, we
that.
don't
It's
even
just
know what
different.
state we're in.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. Oh, wait, look, there's a sign. We just entered Nevada. How fun. I didn't know I was in California.
As she's holding the map.
The map does not have the state lines on it.
Yeah.
True.
I understand it doesn't
all
have
the
much.
same. Yeah. It doesn't have, like, sometimes with the map you can figure it out, and sometimes you're just worried about the road, and I don't even care because it literally doesn't matter.
Right. Exactly. As long
But
as it's the
yeah.
road you're supposed to be on, who cares what state it's in?
Exactly.
As long as we
Yeah.
get to where we're supposed to be at the end of the day. I tell you, crossing the arch and having the girl ringing the cowbell. I can't remember her name. But she
Maria.
rings Maria. Yeah. So she rings the cowbell, and she's just so excited every day that you come in. Like there was a couple days we came in crying, and she's just so excited and so happy to see you. And it's just like, it feels like you're coming home at the end, like at the end of the rally on Saturday. Like, my husband got there and he parked way away or whatever, and I stayed there with him instead of camping that night. But that morning I woke up super early because I wanted to go back to the tent because I was like, these are my people. I've been with them for 8 days. And so it's like coming home.
Yeah. Yeah. This year, Maria rang the cowbell. Previous years that I've been there, there's been a girl, she has a name, but I call her Smiley. And I could yell Smiley from across the parking lot and she would turn and look at me because she knew that was her name. And she had the biggest smile and would greet us coming in. The cowbell was, I wasn't fully into the cowbell. I was like, by day 4, I would like to take that cowbell from Maria and hide it somewhere where she will never find it again. More cowbell was not the answer for me. In fact, we did come in one day and she didn't have the cowbell. And I was like, what? There's no cowbell today.
That's the day you were cheering.
Yes. Yes. So while Kara liked the cowbell, I did not.
I do. Because it's just an excitement. Like at the end of the day, if you've had it's a long day anyways. It's just somebody that's excited to see you. You're excited to be there. Yeah. But she's excited to see you. And so like it makes you feel seen when
one less person she has to report missing.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
Yes, well, they're here. Check that one off.
Yeah, check them off.
I'm usually coming across the line overstimulated and ready to just turn my brain off and not really use it anymore. Let's just say in all of my teams, it's the navigator's job to set up camp and then the driver breaks down camp. So I always set up camp. In the last 2 years, Liz and I have shared a tent, and I'm going to say 95% of the time, Liz would come up to camp and she would be like, this is where you put the tent? She's like,
on the rocks?
Okay. She would be like, whatever. I was like, yeah, all the stuff is already in there. Just, I did it. I put them up. I think she wishes that I had used more brain power on that particular event, but joke's on you. I don't. I just throw the tents out where they land. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's home.
That's how I do it.
Are you thinking that you'll accept any challenges if Jimmy Lewis tosses out a challenge? There's going to be challenges this year in the 10th year.
I'm not familiar with that. I've only seen a few of those, and in the live shows and stuff, I never figured out how it all tied in.
Oh, so last year, the year before last, in the middle of the day, Avis, I'll let you speak more to this because you were rallying, but they took away your map and they gave you basically a blank map. Go ahead, Avis.
I didn't make it to that challenge. We were having severe vehicle
issues
for 3 days, and that was one of the days. So, but I was prepared for that.
Yeah, so you have to know how to make your own scale.
If you're given a blank map, what's the challenge other than, okay, where are we on this map, or do you have to find something on that map?
Well, it has Latin lawn marking, so you can find where you are, and then it helps you to discover where you're going. And it wasn't blank. It was just mostly
just
blank.
A topo map with nothing else on it.
I'm not even sure it had topo.
Not a whole lot. It was pretty blank. It was pretty blank. But and also it was, you had to make your own scale. That was the big deal about that map, is that it was like, you have all these rulers, and if it's an off scale, you got to know how to make this, to that map. And so I know that was a big deal. This past year, Jimmy Lewis came up to our window and he was just like, you have it. Like, I can't remember. It was a whole spiel that he said to everybody.
He said, do you want this piece of paper or Enduro or whatever he called it for a chance at extra points?
Yes. And we were like, so do I need a log? I said, do we need to click? Like, we were just so confused because that that was a hard day for us. And so we were just like, wait, what? And we see all these flags. First, we didn't even know if we were at our blue because there's flags out marking this course. And so we were like, I don't even know. Like, this is obviously, are we at base camp? I think this is base camp. And so we knew we were there, but then he started asking Jimmy a question. He just turns around. He's like, I'll come back. And then he leaves. And so we have no clue what's going on, but we start doing the calculations. We wouldn't get the points. We were worried there was 2 blacks on our, points for the day, or check points for the day. And we were like, well, if we don't get those, if you click on them, you could get a penalty if you're not right. And so we didn't want to risk having 2 penalties on top of missing the point, because we didn't know, like, the extra points thing that Avis just said never occurred to my mind that it was extra points, that it was just like, it's an opportunity on top of what you're like, it's not a penalty. And so that never occurred. Like, you have to listen to really what he says, and he won't repeat it. And then you have to make sure you read everything, every small print before you start anything, because what it was is he handed you an enduro. I think it was an enduro, right? I didn't do the Avis. Y'all did.
I mean, you could call it an enduro. It was an activity. It was a short activity of heading and distance.
But you couldn't get out of your vehicle.
Right. Go this heading for this far, go this turn, turn to onto this heading for this far, turn onto this heading for this far. But they started you in this corral. So you were on the correct first heading. So basically the challenges are going to be skills that you have. They're probably the top of the skill set, but you have basic skills that will help you through the challenge. So always know that somewhere in your toolbox, you have the skills. You need to step outside the box and reimagine what they're asking you to do, because it's different than what you are using your skills for minute to minute. And then, like Kara said,
just a
listen
mental
and
shift.
read.
Like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's nothing like that. Nothing that it like plays into the, like, it's not, it's just something that they throw in for fun. Just a little fun challenge.
I like that you said fun.
Everything's fun.
Yeah. And the definition of fun?
It's type 3
hard.
fun.
The definition of fun is hard.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
But we love it.
And we're excited for you guys to love it.
Yeah. We can't wait.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, ladies, we have met our hour. I'm going to go ahead and close us out. I am going to extend the opportunity for you guys to come back, especially after the rally, because we want to hear all about how it went. How was the rally? How was inside the car?
Or even right before the rally starts. Like, what have you done with the Jeep? What are you ready? Do you feel prepared?
Yeah. Anytime. Yeah. You guys are welcome back anytime.
I'm not sure, no matter how much we prepare, that either one of us are going to feel prepared.
Exactly. Yeah. At the finish line, it's going to be like, I don't know if we're prepared.
Accept that in your soul. Like, just sink that in and be like, anything else, it's fine.
Yeah. You'll be like, okay, well, now I know those things I didn't know before. What else don't I know? And that's the vicious cycle that leads to signing up again.
Yeah. Well, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Right.
Lauren and I had a particular phrase I would use a lot in the Darien Gap, mind you. I don't know, you have to, much older than the two of you, maybe even older than Connie, but I can never remember if it was Abbott and Costello or another comedy team. But the one guy always said, well, that's another fine mess you've gotten us into. Well, I don't know how many times that's been written in my journal over a period of months over something, whether it was a broken drive line or, just whatever plan went sideways. And that's another fine mess you've gotten us into.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it. We're writing that down and using it.
I'll say
with that,
ladies,
ladies,
out on the rally.
let's sign off.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.